Right here.
Hello.
Hello.
Shit, we're in outer space.
Yep, somewhere. Well, hi. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. I very much enjoyed the season. I found it very, very funny. So to start out, what was it about your characters that made you think that you just had to kind of take part in this? We'll just go Kai then Ignacio.
Well, for me, Maya is such a vibrant character. She's a 16-year-old teenager, and the energy that she exudes is just very light and friendly and warming and welcoming. And I just really gravitated towards her. And being that Maya's character is inspired by Shea Serrano's wife, and just having the honor and pleasure of playing a role that's inspired by somebody is a dream come true for me. I love biopics. So that was like, wow, this is kind of like a biopic opportunity. Although Shay told me to make Maya my own and not to so much base it on his wife, but to make her my own. And I think that was really great of him to give me and Ignacio like creative freedom to create our own characters because that's just a pleasure, you know? It was
Mhm.
really fun.
What about you?
Oh, well, you know, me having the status I have in the industry, scripts are just flying my way. And no, it's like I got an audition and like, you audition for what you get really when you're at this point, but like, this was such a great project. I mean, I didn't think I would get it. I mean, I grew up watching Mike Schur's shows. Like they have, I can quote like so many of the characters from multiple of his shows, and like I feel like his sort of like television universe has always been in my life somehow. And is uh Shay's just like a wonderful fucking man. Sorry, but like yeah, the opportunity to get to work with him this closely and to be trusted with so much by him is really like one of the greatest, if not the greatest privilege of my life thus far. Like, yeah, I mean, it's so hard to pinpoint one thing. It's like it was just a dream sort of like project to be able to do and to be afforded at this point in my career when like no one really had much reason to believe in me in that capacity. Like, yeah, I mean, it was a dream
Do
role.
you let me ask you, Syke, you were making me think you're saying how you really liked it was based on somebody, but did you at all ever worry that you were going to, I guess, not portray, even though you did do it your own, not portray her in, the correct manner? Did that worry you at all, knowing it was sort of based on a real person?
I wouldn't say that it worried me. It more so inspired me, if anything. And being that we had such great writers in the room who wrote amazing characters, we saw the journey that each of our characters took. So I felt, if anything, inspired and comforted and motivated to take on this role. It felt more of an honor and a privilege than me shying away from it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'll actually say to that end, like, something Shay and just everyone involved, the show was really clear about is like, um, they didn't put it in these terms, but it's like the the bones of the show are real, but the meat of it is fiction. Like, like it's rooted and inspired by something real, but it's not a biopic, and we're not doing like impressions of
Right.
of the people. Well, so, I mean, you never really, I guess, even want to do an impression of someone, but like we're not trying to, I'm not in any way like trying to act like Shay and like take on his mannerisms, and he did not want that either.
Mhm.
Um, so I think the language he used to describe it is like the shape of it is real. And then like what we fill it with is very much like fiction, you know?
What did the two of you have the most trouble connecting with the characters?
Ooh, most trouble connecting with.
I'd say for me, Maya has a brother in the show. I've never had a brother. So that was interesting because I have two older sisters. So I have, someone to look up to, but it's more of a feminine energy than masculine. And in the show, Maya goes to her older brother for, advice on certain things and his masculine energy that he gives. It was interesting experiencing that as Maya as a character, seeing what that felt like to get advice from a brother rather than a sister, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What about you? What was kind of difficult for you
I
character
don't
wise?
know. That question really struck me. I hadn't been asked that before. I'm not sure. I think I'm probably empathetic like to a fault maybe. So even if something is like very sort of outside of and far away from my experience, like, it's definitely useful as an actor to be an
Yeah,
empath. So
sense.
like yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna think about that though for sure.
Okay.
But I can't.
Well, no, it is good as an actor. That's definitely a good thing to have, I guess.
Yeah.
So let me ask you both though, was it hard? It seems like the set, in my opinion, watching it, a lot of times seems very chaotic. So many people running around, talking at once, all that. Was it hard to kind of stay and not break character, not laugh and that, especially when you're around the uncles and everything? Was that difficult at all?
It was definitely harder in the scenes where all the uncles were together. When all of the uncles were together in a scene, um, there, yeah, it was harder. People would break character sometimes. I mean, like, how can you not? Um, but yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of like comedic talent on the show, and the more you put in one scene, like the more opportunity to sort of to lose it.
I feel like I was able to use it to my advantage because not only was it when I first worked with all of the uncles, not only was Stakiah's first time being around all of them together, but it was also Maya's first time. So I was able to have a first time experience of both. And if I laughed, of course, it was Maya laughing, but also a little bit of myself too, because like you said, they are hilarious when they're together. And sometimes improvised line might come up and it's like, where did that come from? But you stay in character and you use it. You don't just like,
Yeah.
Right. That's good. It worked out. All right. Well, thank you both of you. I appreciate, like I said, I enjoyed it. So have a
Thank you
good
so much, Jamie.
rest of your
Thank
afternoon.
you too.
you.
Bye bye.